Hi, everybody. This is George Hoagland, and I have the pleasure of being here at the Korean launch of our amazing company called Popmax and its social sister company called Pop Social. So, I mean, with Magnus Larson, who is the Chief Marketing Officer, and congratulations, first of all, on a great show today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, I'm here representing networkers. And of course, the first question we have is, what makes it such a solid opportunity? What separates out Popmax from other Web3 companies? Because there have been a lot of failures in this arena. Why is this one going to succeed in your estimation?
Yes, and like you said, there's been a lot of greed out there and a lot of failed projects. And I can tell you the story, actually, how this works. In 2023, for example, the original founders, Michael Chen and Dr. Joey, they went out and got seed round to finance the Pop Social app. And they got in $4 million from different institutional investors and everything. And they launched the app in January 2024, and quickly they'd grow up to 500,000 registered users. And that's actually very good for a new app. One of the key things, of course, why we attract so much people quickly was because they had reward-based, means when people come in, create content or invite friends, they got rewarded with our native token, PPT. And that's all good. And we got a lot of people, but people are people. Well, they got something for free, they want to sell and make money. That's how it is. And when they did this, they didn't have a full scale of an ecosystem in place. So, of course, when people sell something they got for free, the price of the token started going down. Now, this was seen by other investors. One is Mr. Pony and one is Mr. Nick. They both saw what's going on. They said it's a really nice company, really good everything, but they failed because of the ecosystem. So they actually went in to put a bid and actually got the majority of the shares. But the original founders are still there, the institution is still there, but majority of the shares is owned by Nick and Pony. Their plan was to implement a full ecosystem to support the growth of the token. So that was what they did, actually. And they started by implementing different things like Nivex, their own central exchange, by the way. And we also have Punkverse concept. We also had a lot of different other things. But one of the key factors in this is Popmax. The reason why you and me here, George, today is speaking is because of Popmax. This is where we have the staking and reward model. And we also are participating in all different projects around this ecosystem to support the growth with user participation, but also make it a token growth. That's very important. And how we do that is, of course, when we're staking, you're locking the funds, and then circulation becomes lower. And still with the ecosystem surrounding everything, it makes the price of the token go up. The price of the Pop Social token was
10 cents.
10 cents, yes. And right now, currently speaking, is 0.36. This is the point where I saw that, wow, these guys, they invested a lot of money themselves from their own pocket into this project. They also, Nivex is their own exchange, right? So they also implement this into the ecosystem. So they have invested far over probably $10 million themselves from their own pocket because they believe in this, they see what's going on. So that is the point where I also saw, when I met them the first time and I saw it and understand the whole concept, I said, wow, it's really good. And for me, of course, I usually have my 5 highlights that I want to cover in this one. Is that okay?
Yeah, so let's start with those 5 highlights. What makes Popmax so different from some of the other companies?
Yes. So first of all, what I saw is what they have 500,000 registered users on the Pop Social. It means it's a proof of concept. I mean, already now they have a market value over $40 million. That's really good for only 500,000 users. And why? It's because this is Web3 Pop Social. It's Web3, a Web3 version of TikTok and Telegram. And that makes a higher value per user in Web3 conversion for Web2. Number 2 of these things is institutional investors are still in. And they sitting today with a financial license themselves. They cannot be involved in rug pulls or scams or anything. They are very cautious what they select and invest money in. And they are also part of the board of directors, means they are also part of daily decision making in the company, which is a protection for you and me and all other users as well. So this is one really important part. Number 3, most projects you see today, they are not listed on any exchanges. I mean, PPT are listed on 5 major exchanges, actually 6, but 5 officially. And I mean, Bybit is number 2 in the world of totally. We have Binance and then we have Bybit. So number 2. We have BitGet, Gate.io, Mexi, BingX. All there is trading our token today. So that means there's no like coming soon that normal happen in this industry, you know. No, we are already all listed on these 5 exchanges and fully listed on CoinMarketCap, where people can see all our markets. They can see the circulation. They can see everything, smart contract, whatever they want to see.
For example, when you look at those, I see that the daily volume is in Bybit, for example, is over 2 million. Mexi is over 2 million. That's a high volume for such a young company. Why is it so large?
I mean, you know, in the staking reward model, people can come in and stake, for example, with PPT and USDT. So that means people starting buying PPT to get into staking. Also, of course, as when you're staking, every day you get reward. Reward is you can withdraw every day into your pocket, meaning you can go to any of these exchanges and sell your PPT. But the reason I see the climbing in price and volume is because people have now, for example, this event now, seen what is this company going to do. There's so many things happening. I mean, already now, next year, this time, we're launching our own blockchain called Popchain. And that will create circulation of PPT a lot more. Why? Because the native token is what people use for gas fees to transfer funds to and from. And we have already right now, together with the Nivex, our central exchange, cooperation with our own chain, our own exchange, meaning we have a launch structure for companies and projects that want to get their own tokens and get online. So we have everything this set up, which is very attractive for a lot of people. So this, I think, is going to be the future of PPT. Is going to climb more and more up, the more things that we implement in our ecosystem.
Right. And number 4, reason number 4.
Reason number 4 is, for example, 2 of our original founders is former executive team from Binance and OKX. Not that would mean anything special, but for us is that we have a fast track for the future to be listed on OKX and Binance. Why we are not listed there just now is very simple. We need to get our volume up higher and higher before they approve us to be on there. But we have already going there. We are soon there. So that is the future we're going to look forward to. And point number 5 is mostly, I've been in blockchains in 10 years. And all different projects the last couple of years, everyone coming out to have a supply of billions and billions of tokens, which I feel it's not attractive, because how can you get a value up on something when you have so many tokens? This company had from the beginning only 200 million tokens, but they also implemented a deflationary system called very burning token. So every time you stake the token here, 10% of that token gets burned, sent away. So it's deflationary all the time. And already now, since April and May, we have burned over 2.5 million tokens from the system. Means it's going to the black hole. It can never be back in circulation. And all of this, we have proof. We can send people hash ID and everything to follow to see what's going on. So these 5 highlights, I felt, wow, this is something I can stand for. That's also why I accepted the job as the CMO, because, you know, if you're going to go in all in and be a name for a company, you need to do your own due diligence, which I did. And so far, I'm more than happy I took this job.
Let's talk a little bit about, you know, you meet a lot of leaders like me. So let's get into their mind. When you meet them, what's kind of the comments you get from them is why they like this company? Part of it's the 5 points you talked about, but talk to me heart to heart. What are the leaders saying?
I mean, most of people today, I mean, like you and me being old in the game here, we coming from where you get monthly payment and then you got the weekly payment, also good. But today, that's people doesn't have patience today. This company offers daily cash flow, meaning you can get every money out every day into your pocket. And that has been so attractive. A lot of leaders say, wow, daily payout, perfect. I mean, based also, of course, of the other facts. But this is one very key, interesting thing. And here's the thing: even if you're staking and you're locking your principal for 360 days, and you can earn 1% a day, but your 1% every day, you can withdraw whenever you want to your own pocket, and then you can go to any of these 5 exchanges and sell it. So for that reason, it's very easily, because with our unique system, we have also something called yield pool distribution on top. And that acts a little bit like a compounding effect on your staking rewards. And if you leave your funds in the so-called PUSD pool, it will take you roughly 70 days and you have your principal and funds back. Instead of waiting 360 days, 70 days, okay, all your money you put in is now back in your pocket. The rest comes is pure profit. So for that reason, a lot of people say, wow, so good, they put in. And then they start working because this is too good for not talk to other people. That is what we discovered, and I know it's we are really showing what's going on here in so short period of time. We're growing massively. I just heard from the event there that right now it's around $43 million staked amount in Popmax, and that is just the beginning. So we are gonna double that, triple that, quadruple that very shortly.
All right, let's stay on the topic of money. I tell people there are basically 3 reasons people join network marketing in a company like this. Number 1 is to make money. Number 2 is to make no money. And number 3 is to make money.
True.
And what's unique about this, it's such a win-win situation. So person comes in, he can stake for as little as $100, as short as 10 days.
Yeah.
That is remarkable. In other words, they can really test it.
Yeah.
But we find that 80% of the people choose the 360. Why? Because it's 1% a day, which is a huge return. And the fact that they can take it out every day, and at the end of it, they get their money back.
Exactly.
That's highly unique in the industry. So the question is going to come, is that a sustainable model? Why do you feel it is sustainable? And what do they actually do with the staking money that we put in?
Example, I would say sustainable model is a good name because, of course, it won't be here 5-10 years forward, because staking is, of course, in the beginning to get everything funded and so on. But for right now, no problem at all. But here's the thing. When we're staking our funds, the money that we stake goes to the company liquidity pool. This liquidity pool, we have a professional trading team that's doing arbitrage trade every day through Nivex, our own exchange. You can go in there and see this AI arbitrage bot, which actually doing a remarkable percentage. So that's very interesting. Number 2, you have to think smart. Who owns the PPT? Well, that's Pop Social. And when we do our circulation, we're staking every day, we withdraw everything. What is that we're withdrawing? Well, it's PPT. So actually it's a form of an IDO, an initial DApp offering. So people staking, but they get a lot more out in the end, but it's still the token that doesn't cost the company anything because they own the token. So it's very smart and very strategic. What is the company using the funds for? Well, number 1, we are still expanding our ecosystem. They're investing a lot of money into Nivex, the Punkverse. We're doing different things. And this is how we fund everything through the staking program, which is a very smart and brilliant way to do things, I have to say.
I want to go talk about this and come back to the money. And that is the brilliance of finding companies that are already working, like Nivex, like the Punk, and even Pop Social. In other words, there are companies that try to develop all this by themselves. And those are the ones I see run into trouble because they're trying to create what they hope is going to work. And so they're testing it.
Yes.
Where you're actually acquiring companies that are actually working or are floundering, but only because they made a few mistakes, and you're coming in and taking over. And that's a great business system. Would you agree? And that's what makes it so strong?
Absolutely. Like I said, they saw Pop Social. They saw what mistake they were doing, but they saw also, wow, there's a huge potential in this. That's why they invested a lot of money to buy the majority of the shares of an existing platform. That means the original founders spent a lot of time and money to build up everything. But now they had some situation that, okay, They didn't have more funds. They need to do something because the token was failing. And this is where they saw it. Okay, perfect. We win, we invest, we take majority shareholding, and then we implementing our ecosystem to support the PPT token. So, I mean, this is the smartest way you can do it. Otherwise, okay, majority of time, you and me have been in this industry long enough and know that 99% of all companies out there, they're starting with a vision and an idea. And then we have to go out and create sales so the company can start building on their ecosystem. But this is totally the opposite. They already created the ecosystem and then they're inviting us to come here, which is unique. They spend their own pocket money. They are investors. They have good money. They invested their own money and then they're allowing us to come in, which is much brilliant way.
I want to stand this point for the audience. This is such a critical point because what happens with a lot of companies is they start with an idea, well, even like Pop Social did, and it doesn't quite go. And especially when you haven't really field tested it, and now you're just testing it out. And so you try and create community, and you bring the token out too early. And what happens is they dump it, and the price goes down. It's almost impossible to bring it up. I've talked to some really savvy people, and they said what makes Popmax so brilliant is that they developed the community first, the utility of the token, and didn't use networking to create the value because the networkers are just interested in money. Yeah. Whereas a community that is introduced to the token first, not because they're networkers, but because they're just community members, they see the value in it, then that creates the foundation that we then can go in and expand it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I mean, this is exactly the point. Like you said, the community is there. We are bringing more, we are making strong foundation with the community. We're also making the token value going up more and more and more. And the more things we implement in the ecosystem, like Nivex, for example, Punkverse, we have Popmax, we have upcoming PopX, we have our own blockchain coming. This is all creating more and more circulation in the PPT, our native token. And when I talk about our own blockchain, next year we're launching our own Pop chain. And that is the best way, because that will create more and more circulation of PPT, because when you're sending transactions, you need PPT as gas money, right? And when you're reducing the supply and creating more demand, of course, the price has to go up. And this is also why the company's first target is set to have 1 billion market cap. And it's not too far away, I tell you, because right now I think it's around $30 million market cap and go to 1 billion. We are soon there. And then when we have launched our own blockchain, the next target is set to reach 5 billion in market cap. It's not just taking from the air like this, no, because with Nivex, with our blockchain, we have a launch infrastructure. More and more projects and companies will come and use our launch infrastructure to create their own token, to create their own projects, meaning everyone will have to use PPT as gas when they're sending transactions. So it's actually a really sustainable model.
You can go investigate yourself. All the companies that we talked about, Nivex, the Punk, the videos, the exchanges, and the other companies that, including Pop Social, you can go on and research all you want. The point is that these are viable, transparent companies. You can see where the cash flow is coming from. You know where your money is going in. And the end result is you have a company that you can make from 0.4 to 1% daily, withdraw daily. You can stake it from as little as 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, you get your money back. Correct. And then you can reinvest it again, or not invest, but you can buy the tokens once again, and then stake it for as long as you want. So this staking allows the company to use those funds first to do arbitrage, but to buy the other, to look at other things. And I imagine at this point, there are some companies actually coming to you saying, hey, we're seeing what you do. You got community. At a young stage, I can see where companies are going to say, hey, you've got a database of usable community that we could take advantage of. Is that happening already?
That is happening already because, like you said, it's very attractive and a lot of people attract to something. The same with the companies. They see what's going on here. They also want to be part. Because one thing with Pop Social, when that relaunch again, when we put it out, that will have advertising space. And secondly, we also do pop shops. That means a lot of things will happen, more circulation, more turnover in Pop Social alone. So, of course, people are interested because if Group people move, and a lot of people will come attracting following. That's how it is.
Yeah, when they see a buzz coming. Now we need to spend a little time on something that we might have started at the beginning and that's the Web3 and what really is Popmax and Pop Social. And it has to do with the fact that these services that people normally pay, that we normally are part of, the TikToks, the Facebooks, the communication tools, we can bring them, we can have a similar system, but we actually get paid to do it. Can you talk about that? Because that is what Web3 is all about. And it is the cutting edge of where the economy is going. Talk about that a minute.
Absolutely. And like you said, today there is over 4.5 billion people using some kind of social media platform today. But how many of them are actually making money on social media? That's not many. I mean, a few influencers, of course, but normal users spending every day, they create a lot of content, making the Web 2 platforms more richer. That's how it works. In Web3, you reverse it actually, because number one, you own your own content. That is very important. And in our model, we reward people for being active on the social media platform. If you create the content, if you invite friends or like and share, we will get rewarded by PPT. And this is also one very interesting thing. When we relaunch the app, it's going to be a lot of people coming this way. And I mean, we can also see the transactions going on the Web 2 platforms like TikTok have 1.5 billion active users every month. And that's a Web 2 where people actually want to spend money. But with us, people will start earning money. I think this could be a really shift where you're actually taking the ownership from the Web 2 platforms to people in Web 3. That is going to be something really special.
It's going to be very special. And it is to me the next economic move, and whoever gets there first and makes it work is going to be a winning company. And there's always competitors. I think we're out front, but just to kind of summarize what that is. In the current system, if you look at the YouTubes, the TikToks, you have these influencers that we know make a lot of money. A lot of us don't. Even though we make some content, you have to fight for the following. In the new Web3, just by sharing it with people, you can actually participate in that cash flow without having to have 1 million followers or 500,000. You want to explain that? Because that's something everybody can participate in.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, like in this case, like you mentioned here, if you're going to get paid on YouTube, you need, 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers, and then you can earn $100, for example. But in the Web3 space here, especially with Pop Social, you don't need to have a big amount of people. Everything you do, you create your own content, you will get paid. If you like, share other people's posts, you get paid. If you invite your friends, you also get paid in different versions, right? And this is one point where we don't talk about huge masses, but small people, anyone who spends some time on the Pop Social will get rewarded in some way. And this is what I believe is going to be the winning concept.
Last couple of thoughts for people. So you've been a networker and you've been on the corporate side. Just give us your view on what you appreciate about the corporate side of this company, and also what you would say to a networker, why you should join now. And this is a very early stage. We're talking about just January. Now it's in June.
Yeah.
The growth, I mean, you can see usually the beginning of something dictates where it's going to go.
Excellent. I mean, we are coming in soon enough. We will probably hit into a momentum, right? But the thing is, in the beginning, a lot of people, of course, they want to try to see what's going on. Some big leaders, they already came in early, just put in some money to see what's happening. But right now they say, oh, wow, it's growing, it's going faster and faster. So now they're starting waking up. But we are still just scratching the surface. Now we're using a staking reward model. In the future, we have so much more in our ecosystem where we all can start earning more interest or money from different parts. So right now we are in earliest stage. We scratch the surface. I mean, 6 months from now, we're gonna say, "Wow, we're still early." So it's all to people. You need to make a decision. If you like, for example, daily cash flow, 1% a day, which you can withdraw to your pocket. All right. You have to do your own due diligence. Check up everything we said here right now, because this opportunity is actually really, really good. It's not air, it's not fluff, it's actually something sustainable that actually exists. And like I said before, in this industry has been a lot of scary things, but this one is real, it's good, and it's here and it's now.
And as a networker and leader, I would say the same thing. What you see here is there's never any company has no risk. There's always risk with any company, including this one. But what you look for is what are the strengths? What is it that can make it sustainable? So you have a company you can start with as little as $100, stake it for 10 days, all the way up to a whole year. That means if you look at the returns on that, it's very, very fast. That's without even building an organization. Now, if you decide to build an organization, now this is where the cash flow really can begin. We've had people that have made 100 a week, 1,000 a week, all the way up to a good 5 figures a day, daily, which is just unheard of with a company that's only 5 months old. And it's based on 3 things: this daily staking, the daily return, the fact that it only takes 3 legs to build, 2 to 3 legs, and the fact it duplicates so quickly because people can come in with such little amount and they see such positive results in the first couple of days. It gives them a lot of confidence. Yes. Then you add all the things we just talked about, the stability of the company, the fact you can go on CoinMarketCap and see the 5 different exchanges. You can go to see the daily volume, that's 6 to 8 million a day. You can take the PPT token and liquidate it in a matter of minutes. I mean, it's unheard of. Exactly. You see it every day. It comes out at the same time, and it's going for 6 months. So the fact that you put that all together, it's something everybody at least needs to get in and try it. And for those who see the opportunity, grab it, run with it, and you'll be glad you did.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, George. And this is going to be a very good journey for both of us.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.